Richie Owens here with a quick note on the CFA's new score report, which is going to be the format you'll see your CFA results in from February 25 results onwards. Throwing this out there today as I record this is April 3rd, 2025, because the first set of results using this report have just come out and some people have sent us their results in saying, what's this? Why does it look like this? Where are my percentiles? Where's the 10th? Where's the 90th percentile that you're used to seeing? Well, we don't get that anymore. What you get instead is a scale score. And at the top of the sheet, you will see it here. This is your scale score, and that is on a standardized scale. For level 1, it's on a scale that goes from 1,000, which was an absolute outright disaster for you, all the way up to the best you can do, which is 1,900. Somewhere in there is the minimum passing score for level 1, as you can see. That is 1,600. Your score will fit onto that scale somewhere. Unfortunately for this mythical candidate, it's 1,400, which is a did not pass. You can see it on a little chart as well. Here it is. Here's the MPS at 1,600. And here's the average. The dashed line there is the average. When it says administration average, it means for this administration of the exam, this cycle of the exam. So no 10th, no 90th percentile, but you don't need that because you can just interpret your score between the upper and the lower bound of that standardized range. What's the benefit? Well, over time, if you are like this candidate and you have to go again, maybe you go again and next time around you get 1,580. That 1,580 is now directly comparable to that 1,400. These scores, being standardized like this, are comparable across administrations. That's it. I said it's going to be a quick note, and it is. There's not that much else to say. If you're above the minimum passing score, you're in business. For level 2 and level 3, if you are heading towards those levels, it's going to be the same, except the ranges go 2,000 and 3,000 up to 2,900 and 3,900, and you're probably a step ahead. Minimum passing scores on this standardized scale will be 2,006 and 3,600. One extra thing to say, people are saying, well, can I now equate this back to find out what my percentage was, what my raw score was? No, you can't. The MPS is still decided using the modified Angoff method. So SMEs will look at all of the item sets, decide what a minimally competent candidate is, what percentage of those MCCs would have passed each item set, come up with a score. And everybody's exam is going to be slightly different because you pull different items from the Q bank, from the computerized question bank. So don't waste any time trying to turn this 1,600 back into a raw score. If you're interested in percentages, you can get a little bit of a sense of the percentage you scored from this diagram. You get a breakdown by topic of what you did, and they will give you a cutoff for 50 and a cutoff for 70% of questions answered correctly. Why do they suddenly do it with percentages here and not the scale? Well, there is no minimum passing score per topic, so they just show you your percentage. This, it's got to be said, for this candidate was a pretty poor effort. You've got your topics across the bottom, so ethics, quant, econ, financial statement analysis to corporate issuers. That's your session 1 exam. That's your session 2 exam for equity, fixed income, derivatives, and portfolio management. And the 70 up there, I mean, 50 is just meh. You know, you're below 50. This is a pretty poor effort. Above 70 is generally deemed to be competent. So that's where our idea of, look, the minimum passing score is going to be somewhere around that 70, 72, 74, who knows? If I was you, I wouldn't put much effort into deciding, is it 70, is it 72, is it 74? I don't care. Try and get as far above 70% as you possibly can. Now, apart from that, this topic breakdown is obviously useful if you did fall short of the 1,600, because you can see where your major weaknesses are, where you did the worst. And something like this, dropping way down below 50 on a topic that's 15 to 20% of the exam, is clearly a disaster, and that will tell you where you need to focus. So that is a very quick overview. I think that's as much detail as you need to go into. I honestly don't care whether it's 70, 72, 74. You know, if you found out it was 70 instead of 72, are you going to try and answer 2% fewer questions correctly? I don't think so. So no, it's a scaled score on a standardized range between 1,000 and 1,900. closer you are to 1900, the better you did. If you're above 1600, you're in business, you're on to the next level.